As you can see, we're driving from Lyndoch to Sydney on the A32. It has a bunch of names. I'm going to stay with A32. Went north out of Lyndoch early in the morning. As you can see, it's nighttime. I woke up really early, left about 4 a.m. It gives me 2 hours of driving before there was any kind of light at all. Interesting thing of note, in the first 3.5 hours, I only saw one car going in my direction. So that means one car was going northbound, and I passed it about halfway during that 3.5 hours. That was 7:30 in the morning before things started kind of picking up. But really all day, I probably only saw a couple of dozen cars going the same direction as I'm going. You can see here I'm zooming out a little bit here in the software, just so you get a better, wider angle. Before there was nothing to see, so I zoomed in a little. I shot 2 frames per minute, which is 1 every 30 seconds, so you're not getting a lot of detail, but anything more than that would have been ridiculous overkill. I sped it up by a factor of about 5, so I'm getting a tiny pause, but still a lot of sense of motion there. At this point, I was starting to go a little bit crazy. I was talking to myself in weird accents. I was remarking on the ridiculous number of dead kangaroos and the fact that there were 0 live kangaroos and how strange that was. Of course, dead kangaroos can't hop away. You'll notice as we're driving here, there's almost no feature to the left or to the right. We just passed out of South Australia into New South Wales, and all of a sudden you started getting a little bit more change in the land, a little bit more curves, a couple more hills, still plenty of flat. Hey, that was me cleaning the window. It's easy to see why a lot of the cars and all of the trucks out here have big push bars welded to the front. I'd hate to think what it does to their gas mileage, but it saves them a fortune in vehicle repair, I'll bet. Ran out of battery. Turns out the USB charger in my rental car didn't charge nearly as well, or maybe at all, when the radio was on versus when it was off. The first few hours I had the radio off, no problems. And then I turned the radio on, and an hour later or so, click, the camera went off. I noticed the second day I drove for 6 or 7 hours without the radio on and had no problems with the battery whatsoever. As far as wildlife goes, I saw a lot of dead kangaroos. I saw a couple of live kangaroos. I did see an emu. I think I saw an echidna early in the morning. And from the eastern half of New South Wales onwards, goats would graze by the side of the road. In between the road and the ranch fences were goats. Nothing stopping them from just wandering into the road. If you want to really hear me rant, ask me about how I almost hit a cow. I drove all the way to Dubbo, New South Wales on the first day, which was about a 12-hour drive, leaving me about 6 to drive the second day. From Dubbo, I veered off the main track and took a circuitous route through the Blue Mountains. It was very pretty, but meant that I got stuck behind a lot of cars, some of whom would go very, very slow. Australians, as a rule, are extremely law-abiding when it comes to the road. Apparently they have very, very high traffic fines. If you want to know what the speed limit is, look down at your speedometer, because the guy in front of you is definitely going exactly the speed limit. If your speedometer says 50, the speed limit is 50. Your speedometer says 80, the speed limit is 80. They don't go 1 kilometer per hour over the speed limit. It is unbelievable. All in all, I had a great couple of days for driving. Perfect weather, wasn't too hot, sun was out, there wasn't a lot of traffic, not that you'd expect there to be. The Blue Mountains are breathtaking. The outback is big. It's every bit as big as they say it is, and I only drove through about maybe a third of it. I got stuck behind this guy for an eternity. He drove under the speed limit. Coming down the east side of the Blue Mountains, you can see you're really getting back into civilization. You can tell it's a holiday weekend. You get into the city here a little bit, go through a long tunnel, and you see a little bit of Sydney. When you're in the city, you really would like a higher frame rate, but to stop and change it at that point would have been... Thanks for watching with me. This is the route that I took. I'm just sort of messing with a little bit of stupid video trickery. Hope you enjoyed it.